Alright, so what's going on, guys? Nitro here. Hope you guys are having a fantastic week. And today I'm finally back on the channel after being away for about 2 weeks. I've been a little bit busy, with life, work, school, all that junk. So, like I said, I'd say it all the time. YouTube is just a hobby for me. I upload when I have time, and when I do upload, I try to put as much work into it as I possibly can. And speaking of YouTube, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. Well, not kind of. That's exactly what I wanted to talk about today. Because I think there's a lot of misconceptions about people who make YouTube videos like myself and other types of videos, especially, gaming, and there's a billion things you could do on YouTube. And I think people don't really understand the time that it takes to actually produce content for YouTube on a regular basis. I wouldn't call myself a regular YouTuber. Like I said, I upload maybe once a week, apart from these past 2 weeks. But I do put up videos pretty consistently, at least a few a month. And while there are definitely people who do a lot more than I do. Some people do 1 a day, some people do 2, 3, 4 a day, which is crazy. But I just want to kind of talk about the topic itself, kind of discuss what goes into making a video, the process, and really what the benefits are for people who do YouTube full-time, like as their job, because I think that's the part that a lot of people don't really understand completely. So first off, what's so good about YouTube? Why do people do it? Well, for me personally, it's kind of like an outlet. It's almost like people had those diaries, when you were a teen. Well, this is kind of my diary, if you could call it that. I post what I want here. If there's something I want to talk about, kind of like today, or my last video was about the iPhones, I just kind of want to talk about that with people. This is kind of my outlet for expressing myself and sharing my opinions online. And then of course I do all the other fun stuff like Omegle, some random videos that I'll do sometimes. And that's honestly, when an idea pops into my head and I feel like I want to share it with people, well, that's what my YouTube channel is for. So for me personally, that's why I make my videos. It's just kind of a way to express myself. So people tell me, well, it's just recording and then uploading, right? And that's really far from it. A lot of the times, there's a lot of planning that goes into making a video. There's a lot of, not necessarily scripted, but you gotta know what, you gotta kind of know what you're gonna say during the video. Like for me personally, I have bullet notes on the side. My laptop's like right here, and it just kind of, little topics that I want to address in the video that kind of helps the video flow. And while there are things that make it not flow, we'll talk about editing in just a second. But planning is really a big part of making quality content on YouTube. While yes, there are random moments that people catch on camera, and those go crazy viral, which are cool. I think for like YouTubers who upload consistently, their videos definitely require a lot of planning beforehand, and a lot of practice as well to make some good quality content that I think people come to YouTube and that they enjoy. So for me personally, my process from beginning to end, I'm just gonna kind of go through that. So first off, I come up with an idea, and like I said, I do it as a hobby, so I don't think, okay, what am I gonna record today? For me, it's honestly just like, oh, something just popped into my head that's really interesting. I should make a video about that. And so that's how the process begins for me. And so from there, I start planning. I think, well, what could I talk about in the video? Could I get some discussion in the comments from my subscribers? Would it be an interesting video? There are things that are interesting to talk about, but not necessarily fun to watch. So that kind of comes into play whether or not it'll even go in the video at all. And so once I decide, okay, I could probably, get a good couple minutes out of this, I gather up a couple, main topics. It's almost like writing an essay if you think about it, but not as boring. And so once I have a general outline, I start, setting up my equipment. Obviously, I have a microphone right here. I got a pretty decent camera that I use for video. I got my laptop here with all my editing software and equipment. And so that's just kind of the setting up process. Now actually recording the video is something that takes a little bit of time and a little bit of practice. One thing you'll notice is that throughout the video you've seen jump cuts where I'll say a sentence and then it'll cut to another scene or another clip, and that's because that's all editing. Editing is a huge part of YouTube. At least, like I said, YouTubers who upload consistently, that's kind of what this video is focused on. So for YouTubers, editing is a huge deal. I personally use Final Cut Pro on a Mac. It's simple, easy to use for me, so that's what I use to edit all my videos. Now editing is a really big deal because it kind of makes your videos snappy or entertaining. You can make mistakes. I think probably at the end of this video I'll include some just bloopers and mistakes that I made just while recording this video here. Editing really allows you to control how your video comes out. You can add music, jump cuts, special effects, intros and outros like I use for my videos. So editing really it separates the people who record with their phone and just upload from people who actually put, some good time and effort into their videos. Now, I'm not saying I'm amazing at, making videos. I'm just saying that, I do like to take the time and put out something good, on my channel. It's like I say, it's for fun, but I don't just record and upload most of the time. most of the time. So there's a lot of work that really goes into making a YouTube video, as simple as it may seem, and as you may think, oh wow, this video was just kind of seemed thrown together. A lot of the times it's really not. And while yes, it is true that every YouTuber has a couple of videos where it's probably not their best, and well, I admit I have videos like that on my channel as well, especially some of my earlier videos. I go back and watch them now and think, wow, that's really bad. The majority of people who produce content for YouTube definitely put a lot of time and effort, and they dedicate a lot of their time into their channel. So what about when the video is finished? What happens there? It's just uploading, right? Well, again, it's not exactly as simple as that. There's a lot of little tips and tricks that people talk about in the YouTube community that will kind of help each other grow, and there's really little things, something as simple as making a thumbnail on the video in Photoshop, or there's a bunch of websites that'll even help you with that. It really does make a difference if you're trying to upload for views and trying to grow legitimately as a channel. There's a lot of things that you kind of have to do to get noticed out there, because there are literally millions of people who upload to YouTube every day. So trying to grow your channel and get noticed, it can be pretty difficult. So like I said, on the YouTube, YouTube wise, you could do little things like the thumbnails. You add music to your videos that's entertaining. You try to be entertaining in your videos to try to stand out from other people. Now, there are also a lot of things that are frowned upon in the YouTube community. One thing is spam. So, especially in the gaming community, I see this a lot, is that if you're, for anyone who watches gaming videos and actually looks at the content, or any video for that matter, you always see a couple people in the comment section saying, hey, check out my channel, this YouTuber inspired me. It's a bunch of total BS, trying to get views and trying to grow their channel. And while I do understand that people want to grow their channel, I don't think spamming and trying to get views from other people, it's really just not right. Like I said, I consider myself a pretty small channel, about 500, almost 550 subscribers. Considering all the other channels out there that are a lot bigger than mine, I'm a pretty small channel. But I do, I'm consistently, slowly but steadily growing, and I do appreciate that so much. And I honestly, and I can say this truthfully, I've never spammed another channel saying, hey, check out my channel. It just doesn't seem right to me, and there are other ways to grow. Now, for me personally, I like to say that I got lucky, that one of my videos just happened to get its crazy amount of views, and the first one to do that, I think, was my selfie video. And if you haven't seen that, just go to my main channel, and you'll see it has about 20,000 views right now, which is crazy. That one actually gave me the boost I need. I think I was sitting at about 30 or 40 subscribers, and that just threw my channel within a week, 2 weeks, to about 150, almost 200 subscribers, which was insane for me. I was freaking out. And the second time it happened was actually to a reaction video that I'm sure, the selfie video and the reaction video, pretty sure about half of you have seen, at least, out of the 500 and something of you. And honestly, I didn't expect that video to go crazy. Right now it's sitting at about 41,000 views, which I actually gained a pretty good chunk of my subscribers from that video, which I understand. I make other content on my channel, but for people who enjoy that, I'm glad you're here, and I guess it's pretty interesting to see how that works. So a lot of the times, honestly, all it takes is a little bit of a boost, because ever since those two videos, my channel has been, like I said, slowly but steadily growing. Like a subscriber a day, a couple of subscribers a day, something along those lines. So honestly, it's tough to grow as a channel. And for me, who's doing it as a hobby, I think it's really awesome that people are noticing and that people are actually sitting down to watch my videos. And I realize this video is actually getting pretty long, so I'll try to wrap it up here. But the last thing I wanted to kind of talk about was YouTube as a job, and do you make money on YouTube and things along those lines. So the first off is, yes, you can make money off YouTube. Even without 100,000 subscribers, you can make a okay amount of money. Now, that doesn't mean you're gonna get a couple hundred subscribers and make a living off of it. It doesn't work that way. But so the way it works is that you make your videos, right? And as long as you don't have any copyrighted content, you're not using clips from movies, books, you're not using any music that's copyrighted under a record label in your videos, then you can monetize those videos. And when you monetize a video, ads appear. So whenever you see an ad on a video, that technically means the creator is getting some sort of money off of it. And that doesn't mean the creators being a money whore and just like trying to steal everyone's money. It just, the ads really, yes, they are annoying, but it's really what helps YouTube and what helps the content creators continue to do what they do. For me personally, I do monetize my videos. Have I made hundreds and hundreds of dollars? No, absolutely not. I started my YouTube channel in January this year, and I can tell you guys with certainty that I've made less than $100 off of YouTube. And considering I spent $80 on this mic, a couple $100 on software and equipment, like I said, it's a hobby. I'm not doing it as a job or for money at all. The money that you get from YouTube is just kind of like an added bonus or perk. So that's how that works. I'd like to be honest with you guys. Yes, I do make very, very, very small amounts of change from YouTube, but it really doesn't amount to much at all. So while yes, when you have hundreds of thousands or millions of subscribers, yeah, you could do YouTube as your full-time job, especially if you're partnered with a network, which is a whole nother video in itself. I'm not even going to address networks right now. But that's kind of how YouTube works, you know, from the planning to the recording to the editing to making money and growing your channel. YouTube is actually a really complicated process that, well, especially for someone who's, like I said, trying to do it consistently and trying to actually grow a channel, it really is a thoughtful process. So for anyone who's trying to get into YouTube, I kind of hope that this was helpful in a way. I'm not saying YouTube is this whole horribly painful experience, but I think to create some good quality content consistently, it does take a lot of effort and it takes a lot of time. And honestly, I enjoy that. Like I said, this is a hobby for me. I love doing what I do. And hopefully you guys got a little bit of insight from this. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, a like rating below would be very much appreciated. I'm going to hopefully get back on this whole grind with YouTube. Like I said, I've been away for about 2 weeks, and I'm excited to get back into it. Stuff happens, life, school, work, people get in the way, so I'm back on the channel now, hopefully gonna produce some, Alright, so what's going on, guys? Nitro here, hope you guys are having a fantastic week, and today, and so once I decided, okay, I could probably, you know, get a good couple minutes out of this, I start making an outline for it. But there are a lot of ways you can grow on YouTube, and well, I think my channel, okay. Let's try this again.